You won't believe all we have to cover about the Trump versus Biden debate here. We have what foreign countries are chiming in saying about the debate performance. We have what happened on Air Force One after the performance. We've got what happened at the Raleigh, North Carolina rally and Obama's response today. We've got what the New York Times editorial board is saying should happen. And we got other opinion. There is so much. So I think the easiest thing to do is just get right into it. Hey everyone, I'm Meet Kevin. We got Meet Mikey here. What's up, man? What a show. Let's get into this. Okay, first, on Air Force One, after the debate, after aides, this is all via Bloomberg, apparently were freaking out at Biden's poor debate performance and the fact that he stumbled off the stage, Bloomberg is now reporting that, quote, on Air Force One, aides muted the televisions in the cabin so they didn't have to listen to the running commentary about the spectacle. In other words, they were so embarrassed about Biden's performance that they couldn't even have CNN on because they were trashing Biden. Then, flight attendants apparently started offering beer to everybody because they were all miserable. I mean, normally I feel like that's just like a feature of like a normal flight. It's like, yeah, you know, I'll play.
Oh, we don't carry beer. That's too little alcohol per space that it occupies.
Yeah, that's exactly. We've got to be efficient. We stock our plane differently. But this is sad when you know the people working for Biden need to get drunk because I don't think Biden's getting drunk. It's everybody around him because they're embarrassed by him now. Mm-hmm. That's scary. But it's also quite embarrassing that apparently the Polish foreign affairs minister went as far as writing, and maybe you can explain this one, Mikey, to folks. Quote, because I'm sure it was like they thought of it in Polish and then like translated it. So it has this like weird translation thing going to it. Quote, it's important to manage one's ride into the sunset. So that's either like Chat GPT or some like saying in their country. What do you think?
That sounds to me like hey, when you're getting old and your time is coming, you should probably leave gracefully and be remembered for the good things rather than like deteriorate into state of dementia and have people remember you by that.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like leave at a high almost. Mm-hmm. Yeah, check out at a high. Oh, gosh. Well, that is exactly what the New York Times editorial board is now suggesting that Joe Biden do. In fact, if you take a look on screen here, this is something that the New York Times has on their front page. You click on the editorial board piece, which remember, technically the editorial, and I think I just lost that picture there. Let me plug that back in. Get that HDMI. There we go. Keep in mind.
We're on camera 7, go camera 5.
There you go. You good? No, those are Mikey's notes.
Sorry, not camera 5. Okay. Yours is plugged in. Is the HDMI thing plugged into the adapter?
It did show up.
Yeah, it was there for a sec. There it is. All right. So right off of the New York Times homepage, you'll find a piece by the editorial board, which it's important to know there's a difference between the journalists at the New York Times and the opinions of the individual journalists and the opinions of the editorial board. The editorial board is a portion of the New York Times that expresses an opinion which isn't designed to express the opinion of the entire paper. So this is really important because in the journalistic world, if you say the New York Times says Biden should step down, that would be incorrect. It's the editorial board of the New York Times that says Joe Biden should step down, which, spoiler, that is what the editorial board says. To serve his country, President Biden should leave the race. And if you get past all of the bagging they do on Donald Trump because they don't like Donald Trump, the editorial board says there are Democratic leaders better equipped to present clear, compelling, energetic alternatives to a second Trump presidency. There is no reason for the party to risk the stability and security of the country by forcing voters to choose between Mr. Trump's deficiencies and those of Mr. Biden. It's too big a bet to simply hope Americans will overlook or discount Mr. Biden's age. So, problem with this is nobody can figure out who the replacement should be. Even Mark Cuban, who has been a pretty staunch supporter of Joe Biden, has now, via Bloomberg, suggested that Biden's debate performance was awful and he's open to other choices. Other individuals like Chuck Schumer are freaking out. The entire Democratic Party is freaking out because it's not just Biden. It's if Biden loses, then people are going to vote likely more Republican senators and representatives in because they're like, whatever, F it, we're going red wave. And so everybody in the Democratic Party loses, which means every investment or donation that somebody has made to a political campaign becomes worth substantially less. So everyone who's trying to influence, that's what donations do, they influence, let's be real, larger donations influence. Everybody who's trying to influence a candidate is like, oh my gosh, my donation just became worth a lot less because of Biden's bad debate performance. But again, the problem is, who do you pick? You had Gavin Newsom yesterday suggest, we got to back Joe Biden, but I'm ready to step up, which sort of implies that he's like, oh, yeah, I don't want to be the one to say it, but, pick me. And then you got another opinion writer on the New York Times who, listen to this. You can switch to this on screen here. It says, Kamala Harris could win this election. Let her. And I'm not going to share an opinion on this because it's an opinion piece. And I think it's best for you to share your opinion on this in the comments down below. But she talks about how, yes, Kamala Harris may have fizzled out when she tried to run for president in 2020. But don't worry, the benefit of Kamala Harris is the following. Quote, unlike Trump's previous female debate rival, Hillary Clinton, which, well, let me clarify this. Hillary Clinton had a reputation already, right? You don't have as many whiffs, she calls it, on Harris. So there's not so much to complain about with Kamala Harris. She's relatively clean, other than, well, doing nothing at the Biden White House, basically. But anyway, so the idea is, hey, because she's done nothing, you can't really attack her. And so then the article, this opinion piece, goes on to say, all, mind you, it's in the New York Times opinion section as well, not editorial board. All Trump would have is personal attacks against Harris, which would only further reinforce Donald Trump's image as a bully. That could play especially poorly with moderate voters when directed at a mature black woman. This opinion article, mind you, brought to you by a black woman. So clearly, there are a lot of people that have an opinion about who should be running, whom should be running, whatever. You also heard some things because Biden held a rally in North Carolina, and it also seemed like he was like alive again.
Yeah.
What happened? Like, what? Tell me about this rally, and then Obama chimed in.
So it was a rally in Raleigh. And I've got a couple of quotes from him from that day. So he goes today. He goes, I know I'm not a young man. I don't walk as easily as I used to. I don't talk as smoothly as I used to. I don't debate as well as I used to. But I know what I know. I know how to tell the truth. I know right from wrong. And I know how to do this job. I know how to get things done. He also said, I spent 90 minutes on stage debating a guy with the morals of an alley cat, which I think he said that same thing during the debate.
He tried to. He had a lot of like bangers that he tried to get out during the debate, but he was having trouble spacing or like timing his slams. And sometimes he would repeat the same one. Mm-hmm. So I think it's sort of like the memory was coming through at sort of like the wrong times.
The morals of the look. Okay. So he also said, I think he set a new record for the number of lies told at a debate. And it's hard to debate a liar. The Independent's take on this, I was reading this article, they were saying that Trump was lying nonstop and Biden was having trouble remembering his canned responses.
Yeah, it's rough. And, it's one of the things that's wild is, so, when we covered the debate, we called out every misfact that we could on the spot. Let's be clear. Both of them screwed data up. Joe Biden lied about data too. It's like, the unemployment rate when I took over was 15%. No, it wasn't. It was 6.1%. GDP was flat. No, it was actually growing at like 16% annualized. So Biden had some oopsie doopsies with data as well. Now, Donald Trump also had some oopsie doopsies, like this idea that, states are going to kill a baby in the womb at 39 weeks. Again, that only happens if the child's going to die anyway or it's going to kill the mother. And that is actually what Trump is okay with also, because he says, I'm okay with abortion in the case of an emergency or life of the mother. So they're actually on the same page there. But all of that is like chicken dooley. But when Joe Biden goes to a rally and his argument is, oh yeah, the guy's a liar. Well, let's go line by line. Where are the misfacts? And I think that's why it's so important that we were live fact checking. And I'm so grateful that thanks Ken, thank you very much, who filed our lawsuit, our in-house attorney. We filed a lawsuit against CNN to stop them from taking down our live stream so that we could provide on-the-spot fact checking, which is so important because it's really hard after the fact to go, okay, here are all the lies. It's very different from like in the spot, like, no, that's not true. Yeah, that's true, but that's not true. Whatever, right? That's, I think, very, very important for America and politics. So thank you, CNN, for not trying to take our stream down, whether it was the lawsuit or it was, public pressure, perception, or somebody forgot to push the button. I don't know. We're not trying to take credit. Just saying. Thank you. If for whatever reason you're listening, that was good. But yeah, that to me is never a convincing line. Oh, just a liar. But whatever. What else?
So Biden was asked to step down, and
at the rally.
At the rally. Oh. So he didn't respond to it. It was a campaign spokesperson, Seth Schuster. Biden will not be stepping down. Is the answer as of right now?
That's what I'm hearing too. Is that Biden thinks he's actually capable. And I think he has so much confidence because of one thing, the teleprompter.
Mm-hmm.
So think about this. If you have the teleprompter and you're fed zingers with timing, because somebody else can control the timing of the teleprompter to feed you the line, like pause, and there could be just a gap, and then it shows up. So it naturally forces you to pause as you wait for it to scroll up. So somebody else can control your timing and the content of what you're saying, and then you land the zingers. I think Joe Biden thinks he can do such a good job as president because he can read a teleprompter and essentially, perform. He doesn't have to remember because I think he has dementia, and the dementia is short-term and long-term memory loss. Well, if you have a teleprompter, you don't need memory. So he could read just like this. I know I'm not a young man. I don't walk as easily as I used to. I don't talk as smoothly as I used to. And he sounds good. Whereas if he's trying to remember that, it'll come. I mean, you'll probably be able to do this better, but it'll probably be something like, I know I'm not I don't walk as easily as I used to. I'm not a young man anymore.
Folks, listen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But this is an important test of a president.
Mm-hmm.
We should have more debates and less teleprompters because where you don't get a teleprompter? When you're sitting in the room with Xi Jinping from China, or you're trying to negotiate a deal with Vladimir Putin, or it's the middle of the night and the Houthis are attacking our warships in the Red Sea and you got to solve the problem, which still hasn't been solved. What the hell? We sent our warships to the Red Sea to defend the shipping lanes in the Red Sea and stop the Houthis from launching drone attacks and missile attacks at our shipping vessels, international shipping vessels from Maersk or whatever transportation companies. And guess what? We failed. Couldn't do it. The American military under Joe Biden's leadership couldn't protect the Red Sea. Just like we couldn't get the donation dock up in Gaza.
Right. That cost us a lot of money, too.
It was like $300 million.
Yeah.
This is embarrassing. And I'm worried that I didn't, I had my suspicions about his age, but then I remember the State of the Union and I'm like, oh, he sounded good. He sounded like, if he's like that, off stage and he can perform like that, all right, like everybody can have their opinions about things you like, his policy or whatever. But if he's off teleprompter like he was in the debate, he's not a president. Mm-hmm. He's worthless. He's a prop. He's a puppet.
Your comment's right, too, that the zingers don't land because of the timing. In humor, they say, here's a joke for you. What's the most important part of a joke? The timing. Right? So, none of it lands. And I agree. That was the secret weapon is the teleprompters. So I want to go over Obama's response to this.
Do you think it was, drugs?
Some performance enhancing.
Yeah, I mean, he said he had water before and he was selling it for $4.60. Did you see that?
I saw that.
Yeah, the performance enhancer,
Yeah.
zero malarkey. I think it was 100% malarkey and 0% water. I don't know. I mean, if some people were saying he had an earpiece, to me it looked like every time he had to look down at his notes that he was trying to write, he kind of was like scratching his ear. It's possible he had an earpiece. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it
think
just
you
feels
would've
like
seen
such
that.
high risk. Yeah,
That's high
that
risk.
Someone would have seen it and done something.
Yeah, that's too high risk. I agree with you. Yeah, and then you wouldn't. Yeah, that would be really. Then, I mean, I feel like after yesterday's debate, he guaranteed loses anyway. But that would be just insult to injury. I feel like. Anyway, okay, sorry. So go ahead. What did Obama say?
Mr. Obama, this was a tweet or a post on X. He says, "Bad debate nights happen. Trust me, I know. But this election is still a choice between someone who has fought for ordinary folks his entire life and someone who only cares about himself. Between someone who tells the truth, who knows right from wrong and will give it to the American people straight, and someone who lies through his teeth for his own benefit. Last night didn't change that, and it's why so much is at stake in November." And then he has a link to joebiden.com.
It's very unfortunate because I would hope that Obama would have the balls to say he's not fit for office. Because the reality is, just because you're a nice guy, just because, let's say, we believe everything Obama said. So let's qualify that, okay? Everybody watching it right now, okay? We're going to believe Biden is a person fighting for ordinary folks who tells the truth and gives it to the people straight. Let's assume those three things are true. Does that make them a good president if they can't remember anything? If they can't remember long-term, short-term? If they can't negotiate with foreign leaders because they don't have a teleprompter? Do we want somebody who's regurgitating somebody else's script? Or do we want somebody who can think on their feet and run this country? That's a bigger question. Because the reality is there are other people out there who fight for ordinary folks, who tell the truth and give it to people straight. In fact, Donald Trump will say he does exactly that. Mm-hmm. Of course, it's up to everybody else to believe that. But Donald Trump's going to turn around and say, I fight for ordinary folks. See the tax cuts we gave you. See how we got us through COVID. See, whatever. And then obviously people can debate that regarding the policies and all this, right? And then Trump's going to say, I give it to people straight. In fact, that's what I'm known for, is no bullshit. I'm just going to give it to people straight. And I tell the truth. Of course, people are going to be like, nah, you're a liar. You slept with Stormy Daniels. Again, but you could say Biden's lying too. So, Obama, this is weak sauce. And I used to love, Obama's debate performances and the way he speaks. He's great.
He's such a good speaker.
You could learn lessons. Like anybody could learn lessons watching this guy speak.
I lean on when I listen to him speaking. It's like someone telling a good story.
Yeah, it's great.
He's very good.
He's so smooth. So, I'm seeing a lot of people. They're like, Biden just had a bad night. The debate should have been held earlier in the day. No. A president should be able to perform under stress at any time in the day. They are representing America. Otherwise, they are not fit for office.
Mm-hmm. When it comes to just the economy, Kathy Wood had an interesting comment.
Oh, yeah, let's pull that up. So this created a little bit of drama, but I think it's probably better to cover now. So Kathy Wood wanted to make it very clear when I asked her this question that she's really into this guy called Art Laffer. Economist, big fan of the Bitcoin standard, real currency, get the Federal Reserve out of our money, stop doinking around with our money. Now, obviously, the Federal Reserve is going to respond and say, look, we soften the boom cycle and we soften the bust cycle. And we try to make our currency more stable. We try to make things better. Whatever. That's whether we have a Fed or not, they're totally different debates. But Kathy Wood, who respects Art Laffer, has her opinion in terms of whom she would prefer to vote for president. Now, obviously, there's more nuance that comes with this and whatever, but here's the clip. And you can see for yourself what Kathy Wood says. Trump or Biden?
Is it? The word is, so as I've said to my children, so I have 2 girls and a boy, and they're split on this. As I've said to them, look, I am going to vote for the person who's going to do the best job for our economy. I am a voter when it comes to economics. And on that basis, Trump. I mean, if
A lot of balls on that.
so, Art Laffer describes the first 3 years of the Trump presidency as the best in U.S. economic history. Not the last one because of COVID, but, and I would agree.
Wow.
And I went through Reaganomics too.
So that would be 2017, January 2017, when Trump was inaugurated. You got the 2017 tax cuts, 2018, 2019. And then she's ignoring COVID. That's what she meant with not the last one. See, that was touchy when she said that because it was before this debate. And so I think Kathy was a little worried that maybe she offended folks. Post-debate, that's like popular opinion now, I feel like. Wonder what the betting odds are now.
Yeah, that's good to check. Historically, we know the economy tends to do well when there's a shift from a Democratic president to a Republican president.
Ooh, I think you're right.
And I can probably pull the data on that too. And I wonder if that had something to do with it as going from Obama to Trump in the first place.
Maybe. Yeah, it looks like right now, how interesting. Yeah, the odds keep moving. So we can throw this up on screen here, Ken. We've got Donald Trump in the last 24 let me go last 7 day because you'll see the movement. So you've seen Donald Trump in the last few days has gone from 52% chance to 58. I think now he's at 60. Oh yeah, 58, 57, somewhere around there. Joe Biden has plummeted from 48 down to 33 cents, so 33% chance. And then Newsom keeps going up from 5 to now 17 cents. And the more Newsom's going up, the more you're actually seeing Trump's edge down a little bit because Trump's went up to 61 and now he's at 57. So they're taking a little bit of the betting odds there from Trump and throwing those on to Newsom. Harris has been coming up in some of them as well, though substantially less so. She's down at 6 cents. So it seems like Newsom is a betting odd favorite right now. So kind of interesting. So while you take a peek for that, we've got inflation numbers this morning came in really good, by the way. PCE, 2.6% year over year in May, matching expectations. Beat the previous 2.7 and April 2.8. Inflation cooling. Obviously, another report here doesn't make a trend, but UBS commented on this and they're like, yeah, we're probably not going to have an inflation problem anymore. It's probably just downhill from here, which is pretty exciting. So what else you got, Mikey? I think you got something on Bitcoin too.
Oh,
we can
yeah.
always come back to the other piece.
So
It's Elon's birthday.
It is Elon. It's 69 days after 420.
Oh, that's how you remember it.
That is how I remember it,
Nice, I like that. Oh, and then I forgot to mention too during the debate, dude. Shout out to Lex Friedman. He gave me $50. You know how many Mai Tais I can buy with that? One. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty. That was his verified account too, which is pretty awesome. So thank you, Lex. That was really cool.
Yeah, to celebrate Elon's birthday, let's talk about some recalls that just happened.
Oh God, are these over the air again? Or are these real recalls?
These are actually real.
Real
and there
recalls.
was 2. So this is the
They
third
gotta
and
change the
fourth
word,
recall.
man. It's like update or recall.
Or
they
actual
should be
recall.
separate things.
Even like a soft recall or something.
Yeah.
Something to clarify.
Just
Yeah.
nonsense.
But so there's 4. One of them was for the windshield wiper motor.
Oh,
So that one like overheats or whatever and stops working, which is a problem if you need the windshield wiper.
I could see that. It's such a large windshield wiper. It's probably a large motor, like a servo or whatever that it requires. And if you're in an area like Florida where it's just raining all the freaking time, yeah, I could see that happening. And then it just burns out. It'll stop working.
Yep.
Interesting.
The other one was, and by the way, 11,688 trucks were impacted. So like 11.6, 11.7.
All of them.
Yes,
Probably,
but
yeah.
this gives us a good insight into how many trucks there must be.
Yeah.
Because a similar number, 11,383, were impacted by the other recall, which is on the trunk bed. There's this trim piece that tends to fly off, essentially. They didn't properly use adhesive on it, so they're recalling all those trucks so they could re-adhere it.
That's like a Boeing strategy. Stuff just starts blowing off. It's probably not that bad at Tesla. It was just a trim piece. Right?
It's just a trim piece. There's
okay.
yeah.
Probably a little different. Trim piece on a Tesla versus like the door of a plane.
You're
going
going
up.
like 60 miles an hour versus 600. You're at ground level versus like 35,000 feet. There are some differences.
3 ounce piece of plastic versus 300-pound door.
But what I will give Tesla is this is making the news of all the Cybertruck recalls again.
Yeah.
Less talked about is the fact that at the exact same time, Ford, the F-150s, not the Lightnings, just the general F-150s, also had a huge recall. This is for ones built from 2014, where they unexpectedly downshift a gear and the engine basically blows up. And it causes drivers to lose control and potentially crash. 2 injuries and 1 crash are believed to have been caused by that.
Wow.
So not a lot of people are talking about the Ford
that's
one.
the thing. Like, everybody just loves to hate on Elon.
Yep.
And it is sad because, look, obviously we can joke, but these issues on the Cybertruck are relatively nominal. The gas pedal issue was solved. This trim piece thing was solved. Anytime you have a Generation 1 vehicle, there are just going to be issues. Quite frankly, even sometimes 4 or 5 years after you have a car, there are new issues that come up. So it's I think very normal and to be expected. But then of course that's nowhere like talking about Ford's actual problem that's injuring people is just sort of like, yeah,
It doesn't make the
Ford
news.
has problems, and then people are like, okay, yeah, I already knew that. Found on road dead, man.
The accelerator, fix or repair daily. The accelerator issue for the Cybertruck, someone's like, someone could have gotten hurt.
Could have.
But nobody did. But when it happened to Toyota, people actually died.
Yeah, the Takeda airbags. You thinking?
The
Yeah.
Takata.
Takata. Is that ever called?
Yep.
Yeah. What was that? Like, just like they would suddenly explode, basically. But like, how did they kill people?
It was a problem because when they would explode, bits of shrapnel would fly up too. And yeah,
It was like a grenade.
you got sliced.
That's dirty.
It sucked,
Fragmentation airbag.
pretty much.
Jeez Lord, that's bad.
So-
Sorry to the people who got fragged. Oh God.
So happy birthday, Elon.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So, Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah.
Bitcoin. I'm surprised, first of all, just to start, I'm surprised Bitcoin is actually down from the debate because I would have thought that with Trump losing the debate less than Biden lost the debate, that you would imagine that to be a bullish signal for Bitcoin, but it's actually been steadily dropping since then.
I think here's what happened is markets priced in, oh, Donald's going to win, slam dunk. So Bitcoin go up. And then it's like, oh, crap, they might put a different Democrat in who might have a chance of winning. And even if they have a lower chance of winning than Trump, they have more of a chance than winning than Biden. So now we have to unprice some of that gain. I think that's what happened.
You're probably right.
Weird. Yeah.
There's also some selling fears happening because the story that I wanted to talk about is that the U.S. government on the 26th of June transferred 3,940 Bitcoins to a Coinbase wallet.
Oh, the same company they're suing, right?
company they're
okay.
suing.
Makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Coinbase Prime Wallet. It's worth like $250 million roughly. And this money that was confiscated from a drug trafficker, Banmeet Singh. He's an Indian native arrested in London in 2019. He's extradited to the U.S. last year.
Banh meat. I need a banh meat, Kevin. That's my Indian name. That's my Indian
Banh
name.
meat, Kevin. Okay. So he was ordered to forfeit 8,100 Bitcoin, which at the time was $150 million. That was the DEA's largest cryptocurrency seize ever.
Wow. That's crazy.
And what was really crazy is this led me down the rabbit hole, and I found out that this is per Arkham Intelligence. The U.S. government is estimated to currently hold about 214,000 Bitcoin, which is worth about $13 billion.
Oh, so like one shipment to Israel.
It does make us the largest like state holder of Bitcoin.
That is interesting. Oh, so more than El Salvador. That's probably like 5 times the size of their economy.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's probably the size of their economy. Well, let's look at
13
it.
billion.
El Salvador GDP. Oh, 32 billion. How interesting.
That spiked. Can we throw that on the screen?
Oh, that is actually very interesting. Yeah, there's a little spike there. After probably on here, hold on, I wasn't plugged in. Actually, it somewhat looks like there's a spike after like right around COVID. Obviously you had a dip, but the accelerated spike here, maybe it was because they adopted Bitcoin. And
That's
as
a good point.
Yeah. When did El Salvador adopted Bitcoin? What year was that? 21?
Wow.
That could have accelerated their economy. Gotten, maybe wealthy crypto folks to set up shop or business over there or whatever. How interesting. That was a good observation. Yeah.
Very,
The
very
slope of
interesting.
that curve moved way up. Okay. Wow.
So the fears now is that there's going to be a sell-off because all this money is available on Coinbase. The German government's actually been selling off a lot of their holdings. There was the Mt. Gox thing where a lot of money was transferred over from Mt. Gox.
The
There's fears
Germans
about
need
that.
money to pay for all the immigrants. All the stimulus money they give. They give a lot of money.
Really?
It's like New York. Yeah. My dad complains about it every day at dinner when we're hanging out for day. Every single day that we're together, I get a story about how much money the German government is throwing at migrants. And he's like, he compares it in multitudes to the amount of money that he will get from having paid into the German equivalent of the Social Security system. So like, they're 8 times my social, 9 times. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, they have like $2 to $3 billion in Bitcoin, the German government.
Interesting.
But migrants is from Bulgaria, there's no jobs in Bulgaria. A lot of people move to Germany. I personally know a ton of people who have moved to Germany.
And I'm all for immigration. I think it's the asylum seekers.
Yeah, I understand that.
That's, it's like, okay, here's, whatever, 1 million people from Afghanistan or something. And they're people too, don't get me wrong, but it's like, now here's all this money for you. Here's a house. Here's a place to stay. And people like, yo, we have problems in Germany too. It's sort of like America. It's like we have homeless people dying on the street and we're giving money away to other countries. There's always that. The hope is that there's enough money to solve all the problems. And that's why we put wonderful people in power like Gavin Newsom, who can solve homelessness and housing crises and cleanliness and crime in California. Oh. I think I'm done.
Are you going to run for governor again?
I can't wait to kick Governor Newsom's ass one day. I hate that guy. Dude, if he runs for president, I'm going to be the biggest thorn in his side. Like, I will just be branded. That's the Gavin Newsom hater.
It's
I'm going to end up going to Trump rallies just to be known as the Newsom hater guy.
So I hope this doesn't piss you off, but 2021, you ran against Newsom. I was there. I was with you, right? Good
You
times.
voted for Newsom too?
No, did not vote for Newsom. If Newsom ran for if it was Newsom versus Trump versus Biden, I would have a tough time. That's how much I'm.
Well,
not
wouldn't
happy.
we all? Let's just take Biden out of that race. So you would have a tough time between Newsom and Trump. Yeah. So oh wow, oh dear. Okay, well, let us know in the comments down below. This is see now. We're gonna end the video before I impart my opinion.
I just hate them all, man. I would have loved to have a Meet Kevin for president instead. I'll end it with that.
Thanks, man. All right, that's it. Oh, by the way, remember, there's a coupon code expiring tonight. It is coupon code expiration day. If you need any support or have questions about the bundles, make sure to go to staff@meetkevin.com or email staff@meetkevin.com. Go to meetkevin.com to learn more. If you want to book an intro call to learn more about our mastermind, go to meetkevin.com/mastermind. 4 times a year. It's a high ticket, but it's also very, very in-depth personal development and coaching. So take a look at the options, meetkevin.com. Thank you so much for being here. Mikey, great job. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one.
Why not advertise these things that you told us here? I feel like nobody else knows about this.
We'll try a little advertising and see how it goes.
Congratulations, man. You have done so much. People love you. People look up to you.
Kevin Paffrath there, financial analyst and YouTuber. Meet Kevin. Always great to get your take.
Even though I'm a licensed financial advisor, licensed real estate broker, and becoming a stockbroker, this video is not personalized advice for you. It is not tax, legal, or otherwise personalized advice tailored to you. This video provides generalized perspective, information, and commentary. Any third-party content I show shall not be deemed endorsed by me. This video is not and shall never be deemed reasonably sufficient information for the purposes of evaluating a security or investment decision. Any links or promoted products are either paid affiliations or products or services we may benefit from. I also personally operate an actively managed ETF. I may personally hold or otherwise hold long or short positions in various securities, potentially including those mentioned in this video. However, I have no relationship to any issuer other than Househack, nor am I presently acting as a market maker. Make sure if you're considering investing in Househack to always read the PPM at househack.com.